You kept your composure during a tough endgame, and it paid off with a free piece. A classic first move which opens up your pieces and strikes the center early, challenging the center in a direct, aggressive way. Capturing the center pawn and inviting your opponent to recapture with their queen. Queen takes d5 recaptures the d5 pawn and places the queen in the center, where it controls many important squares. This move opens the path for your bishop to enter the game. Moving the same piece twice in the opening isn't a good strategy. You are bringing your knight into play, eyeing the central squares. Their knight comes into play, attacking the center. Develops the bishop and attacks the center. Their best option was to develop a bishop and attack the center. Castling kingside tends to be safer because your king is further from the center. Their better move was to develop a bishop and attack the center, developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. They bring out their bishop, increasing their control over the center. You permitted the opponent to kick a bishop. Decent move, but they had a better one. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. Their pawn attacks your bishop, kicking it out of its current position. A good choice to move your threatened bishop. Their bishop moves into the game. You had a chance to play something better. They bring out their knight, increasing their control over the center. This is a fine move. They made a solid choice and castled same side as you did. You are threatening to kick a bishop. Your opponent had only one good move there, and they missed it. You are now able to... Your better option was to add a defender to a vulnerable pawn. A straightforward recapture. You're going to end up losing a pawn. They missed a chance to tactically win a pawn. This move gives you a passed pawn, free to advance up the board. They took your pawn for free. Your better option was to take an open file with a rook. You permitted the opponent to set up a blockade. They placed their knight on a blockade square, stopping your pawn. Your better option was to centralize a knight so it controls more squares. That was a game-changing move, putting them in a winning position. They exchanged pieces of equal... You exchanged pieces of equal value. Their better move was to force doubling of pawns. You are now able to counterattack an opposing rook. Your best move was to counterattack an opposing rook. Their best option was to capture a rook that was threatening to win material. Your best move was to recapture a piece. Their better move was to capture a rook that was threatening to win material. Correct, of course. Move away from danger. This is a fair trade. You recapture the piece. They've improved the positioning of their piece. Your pawn is undefended, so this move loses material. They missed a chance to capture a free pawn. You're putting your king's safety at risk with that push. You'll never be able to move that pawn backwards. There was a moment to punish your opponent's error, but you let it pass. They've weakened their pawn structure by leaving a backward pawn behind. You got lucky here. Your best move was to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. They had an opportunity to punish your inaccurate play, but didn't catch it. Your opponent made a mistake, but you missed the chance to punish them. They prevented you from being able to tactically win a pawn. Your better option was to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. They've pushed their passed pawn, turning it into a stronger threat. You permitted the opponent to eventually win material. With the right moves, your opponent is sure to win material. You are losing a rook this way. They found a way to win your rook. Your rook eyes the open file, which helps control critical squares. A clear recapture. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. They are right on target. Good job protecting your pawn. I like their choice. Well done, an excellent move. That's playable. You had a better option, but this is not bad. This trade simplifies the position, working in their favor. A clear recapture. That's not a mistake, but they did not find the best move here. You step your king away from the checking queen. They are threatening to checkmate the king. You captured that free pawn. You stopped your opponent from being able to checkmate the king. You can pick up a free queen. This was the only move. They made one of the top moves in this position. Very good choice. Their best option was to move a rook to safety. You continue the checkmate attack. That was the only move. Good job stepping in to defend your queen. Their king steps away from the check by your pawn. This is a fine move. That was the only move. Well done, an excellent move. They move their king out of the check from your queen. This move doesn't hurt you much, but it doesn't help either. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. Very good choice. They move their king out of the check from your queen. Not the best move, but not bad either. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You had a better option, but this is not bad. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. You apply pressure to your opponent's pawn chain. They exchange pieces of equal value. You recaptured. They slipped up a bit here. Not the worst move, but this is a fine move. They didn't find the right idea. This move attacks your opponent's pawn chain. This move doesn't help their position at all. This move gives you the opportunity to win their pawn. This is the way to win a pawn. They block the check from your queen. Not the best move, but not bad either. Capturing your hanging queen. You made a passed pawn. They played the strongest move available. Good job, that's what I would have played too. Precise move from your opponent. Passed pawns must be pushed. Decent move, but they had a better one. Now, your opponent can't stop you from winning material if you make the right moves. That's playable. You're still on the road to checkmate. They move their king out of the check from your queen. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. That's not a mistake, but they did not find the best move here. You want a pawn for free. They are right on target. You continue the checkmate attack. That was the only move. You continue the checkmate attack. Their king steps away from the check by your queen, getting closer to the forced checkmate. They played the strongest move available. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. They played one of the best moves here. You're still on the road to checkmate. Precise move from your opponent. Your move gets closer to checkmate. They are right on target. You continue the checkmate attack. They played the strongest move available. You're still on the road to checkmate. Precise move from your opponent. You continue the checkmate attack. They are right on target. You continue the checkmate attack. That was the only move. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. They move their king out of the check from your queen. Congrats on your win.